Welcome back. Well, for whatever reason, when we went to create our project last time, it didn't quite take. So we're going to try that again. And then once we've got our file structure in place, we're going to go ahead and move our reference images in so that we can access them when we export our project folder. So back here in Maya, I'm going to go back to File and then to my project window. Our current project, yours might say Toon Guy, but for whatever reason it didn't set up all of these other folders down here. So we're just going to create a new one. I'm going to name this Toon Guy, and let's just go underscore, and then whatever your first name is, and so we can identify these easier when we return them all in. So I'm just going to put my first name back here. Current project, it's going to sit in here in my Maya projects folder and accept that. That's good. Just to be sure, I'm going to go to Finder. Now your Maya stuff, if you didn't set anything different, then it should be under Documents. Ignore that nasty list. Documents, Maya, Projects. Here's our new Toon Guy project folder, and as you can see, this time we have all of our subfolders for images, data, and all that good stuff. Let's look at the last one. For whatever reason, all we got was that workspace. So we'll use this new one. That's good. Finder says we did it right. Just to be sure, I'm going to go ahead and set my project now to the new folder. That should be good. Save scene as to make sure this thing we're working on goes where we want it to. Now for whatever reason, again, we've gone back to defaults. I'm going to go to workspace root over here. And as you can see, when I hit that, then it updated us to this Toon Guy folder right up in here. That's what we want. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. And that file name we don't need to mess with right now. Again, go back to Finder and double check ourselves. There's our Toon Guy that's saved. Excellent. So now we're in the right folder. What I want to do is I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to grab those two reference images that we set. Command click. I'm going to copy these for now. Go back to Documents, Maya, Projects, Toon Guy, whatever your name is. Images. All right, I'm going to Command V, paste those in there. I'm going to go back to my Hypershade window and just make sure that everything is where I expected it to be. All right, so here's front. So this one is still pointing to the image on the desktop. We can just hit this right here and correct it. So let's go back to workspace root, images, and there's the image we want. Now what's cool here is you can see that we don't have this whole long users and all that long file path name. So this is now referenced locally. So it just says images and then our thing. So it's referencing it locally. Let me fix that for the other one. Root, images, side, and I think that's updated. Still looks good in our viewport here. Go ahead and increment and save that. Just to double check. Look at that. We have Toon Guy 0001. And then our images folder has that. I'm not sure what the temporary folder is. That might be our render we just did. But now our workspace is actually the way we want it, and we can start modeling. One more thing I want to do here is we set our image planes to a very small 2.5 wide by 4 high. which is fine. That got the ratio we wanted, but if we're going to model our character to that, then we're going to be working with fractions in here as we go to extrude and move things out. So I want to scale these up. So scalar. Use the type ins. I'm going to go ahead and scale it by 10 on both the X and the Z. And then we'll have to reorient them later. So that we scaled them by 10, then we can assume they're 25 by 40 instead of 2.5 by 4. So I'm going to translate up on the Y to 20 so that it sits right on our grid line. Do the same for this one. So our front-facing image should be still sitting directly in the center. He's fine there. We just want to move him back. So we'll want to just make sure, again, go by 10. So we want to go 12.5. And then we'll grab our side one where we translated him by 1.25. Again, 12.5. Hit F to zoom out a bit. Amazingly, we almost fit directly over our grid line. Well, that'll give us a lot more room to play with, which it's all relative, but again, when we go to start moving and extruding, that'll help. All right, I'm going to increment and save one more time. And no kidding, we may start modeling next.